Okay, everyone, we are live. Let's wait till it gets a little bigger. Okay, let me scroll up on here. There we go. Okay, Facebook world. It is April 27th, and it is time for my weekly financial tips. I'm so excited about it, guys. I love doing these videos. Again, they are fantastic. I love adding value. Man, I hope that if there's one thing you could say, I know sometimes my videos go a little bit too long, but I hope there's one thing that I do, and I hope I add value. I hope you can, watch one of my videos and go, I didn't know that. Or, hey, I needed a reminder on that, and this week's going to be no different. I am going to go over, this is week 5, financial tips. And so with financial tips, what I do, guys, is I do tips on investing, on retirement planning, on mindset. I think mindset's probably the most important one out of all of these. You can have all the tips and strategies in the world, but if you don't actually take action, they are what? Useless, right? It's useless. It doesn't matter. And so I think mindset's probably my favorite. But I try to put as much finance as I can in there just so you guys, you feel like you're getting some sort of financial content. But I do think, guys, my mindset videos, those are probably the most important. I think those are going to add the most value to you. Unfortunately, today, there's nothing on mindset, so it's going to be mainly financial tips, but I just want to do a shout out there because I think it's way more valuable. When you get this right and you start working on this, everything else is so easy. So financial tips. I have 3 tips for today. The first one is going to be system. What do I mean by that? Who knows what I mean when I say system? Oof. Okay. How many of you have started your New Year's resolution? I'm going to lose 20 pounds. And you start and you go to the gym for the first week and you're fantastic and you're crushing it. You see it, you're starting to lose weight and you lost 5 pounds that first week. And then week 2 you do good, and then week 3 you maybe don't go as much, and then week 4 you quit. Or maybe you go 2 months and then you quit. Why do we do that? Why do we quit? Why? And that's fitness, but you know what? It goes with everything else. Say you started a new business or a supplement line or whatever the case may be. You wanted to start saving for this trip. I would say the reason why most of us fail is it takes a lot of discipline to do things without a system. I think personally, what I like to do is if I can automate that system, I think that's the best bang for your buck. I think that's going to be the easiest way for you to do something. And I'm all about easy, right? Raise your hand if you're all about the easiest, best way to get something done. And so when it comes to system, guys, the best system you can do is something that's automated. And so when it comes to like investments, it comes to financial planning, any one of these strategies, so if you're doing IRA, you're doing 401k, you're doing investing into a brokerage account, IBC, life insurance, whatever the case may be, the best thing you can do is have it automated. So you don't think about it, because when we start thinking about it, when we start thinking about the money coming out or having to write that check to do it, our discipline's horrible. We will fail. Most of the time we'll fail. And so I think personally the best percent, right? You always want to have the highest percent chance of succeeding in something. I would say what you need to do is you need to automate. And so again, going back to finances, Finance 101, automate your retirement planning. Have it on automate, automatic. Have it come out every single month. Boom. Say you're doing life insurance, or say you're doing IBC or IRA or whatever. Every single month, every paycheck, boom, it's just getting sent there. You're not even seeing it. Again, figure out your calculations, whatever you're going to do to make sure you hit your goal, right? You're right here. You want to get to here $1 million. how much do you have to put in each paycheck, depending on how fast it's growing, all that kind of stuff, and it just comes out automatically. That is how you're going to have success. The clients I talk to that do it manually, they never reach their goal. They always make an excuse. Something always comes up, and not to get off on a tangent here, but I mean, most of the guys tell you this. Most of the gurus are going to tell you, pay yourself first, right? A lot of that's to do with, you need to invest yourself. You need to put the money first into investing. It has to come out first, because you're going to think of all these different reasons and all these different excuses on how, oh, my tires went flat. I can't afford to invest this month. Or, oh, hey, the inflation. I can't afford to invest. Automate. Don't even look at it. Have it come out and just let it come out, guys. That has to be your first priority. If you're going to build wealth, you're going to build financial freedom, your investing has to automatically come out. Sweet. Okay? System. Automate. Leverage. Okay. I love leverage. If you're an investor, you love leverage. Create or use a system where you can use and maximize your cash as leverage. Okay, so I'm going to harp on IBC because I think they have the best product, it's the best system to do this. Leverage, guys. You want to create a system where, I always say it this way. This is the way I can explain it, and it makes the most sense in my head. Have your dollar work for you more than once. That's what I think the best way to utilize your leverage. So if you have a dollar and you can only use it one time in your savings account to go buy this house, your dollar's worked one time. If you can have your money, sitting in a IBC account where it's compounding every year, so it's growing, and you can use that money, buy something else, another asset, and you're making money on that with positive arbitrage. I'm going to lose you guys. I'm sorry, but I want to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to speak it. And then also you can save money on taxes, so you're using your dollar again, and then you can leverage it again to buy another. There's so many different ways that you can leverage your money to buy other assets. And so what I'll say with this, guys, is make sure you have a system, whatever it is. I don't really care what it is, but make sure that you can actually leverage your money, your cash, your houses, your assets, whatever the case may be. You can use it as leverage to be able to buy more assets as fast as possible. That's the name of the game. If you guys have ever played Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow game, let me know if you have. I want to see it in comments. I want to see it in posts. If you've ever played that game, you know the name of the game is to buy as many assets as fast as possible using your leverage, using your cash flow, all that kind of stuff. Same exact thing here. Have a system. IBC is the best at it. If you know something better, let me know. Have a system where you have it, your cash is growing, it's always compounding, always uninterrupted, and you can leverage that money so it's liquid. Again, leverage, it needs to be liquid as well, to buy other assets as fast as possible while this still grows, because you want your leverage to go so you can buy bigger assets or buy multiple assets. And so that's what I'll say about leverage is have a system that you can have leverage. You can leverage some of your 401ks, some of your IRAs as well. It's not as liquid. There's different ways to do that. It's a little more complicated, but you can do that as well. IBC is just the easiest, but you can use those as well. And so, but once you start thinking about leverage. And the last one's assets. My favorite thing to talk about, right? Assets. So you have your system, you have your leverage. Now use that leverage to start buying assets. You can buy stocks, bonds, gold, commodities, whatever the case may be. Real estate syndications. I mean, there's so many ways you can use your cash to buy assets. I mean, syndications aren't necessarily assets, but you can use them as investments, and you can double your money, or you can make, not necessarily double, but you can make really good returns on your money. And then from those returns, maybe use it aside, buy an asset, and then put your money back into a syndication, get returns on it, buy an asset. You know what I mean? So there's so many different ways that, for syndications, you can double your money and make good money on it. But specifically assets, right? Stocks, bonds, real estate, businesses, etc. Um, guys, there's really, you're not going to get to freedom fast, or you're not going to get to freedom before you're like 65 years old if you're not buying assets with that money, right? So it's the reason I love IBC is because it's always accumulating, right? While you can buy assets. And the more money you put in the system, the faster it's going to accumulate and the more assets you can buy. And so, again, I had this on a separate video, but I'm buying franchises right now, buying assets, right? I'm using my money, I'm using my cash, my leverage, and I'm going to buy assets with it, right? And then next year, the year after, I'm going to buy another franchise, and then I'm going to buy another franchise. To the point where I don't have to do anything. I can have GMs run my businesses, and then I can go retire if that's what I want to do. I really love doing financial planning. I think that's more my passion. But see what I'm doing though? I'm using my leverage to buy assets, so then my assets are going to be able to pay me. You know what I mean? And so I don't want to beat a dead horse with that one, but you have to, going over these three things real quick. System, you got to automate. It's so much better. We're not as disciplined as we think we are. Right? I'll say that for all you men out there that like to go to the gym and do all this stuff, and you consider yourself an alpha personality. I consider myself an alpha personality. I'm a hard charger. I've been in business for a long time. I'm always looking to get another deal, get another business done. I'm not as disciplined as I think I am. When it gets hard, it's so much harder to choose discipline, to do the things I know I should be doing versus, taking the easy way. And so that's where I like everything. Everything comes out as a system. Everything's automated. I don't sit here and have to think about it. When times get tough, it automatically comes out and it makes my life so much easier. Okay? And so system, leverage, you build that leverage, build great leverage that's liquid, that's always compounding and growing. Okay? And then assets. Use that leverage to buy assets, right? So this would be foundation. Your system's going to be your foundation, your leverage is going to be your pillars, and then your assets are going to be the gold mine on top, okay? And so it's going to be your roof. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Again, this is my financial tips. I hope this brought you value. If someone would have taught me this 10 years ago when I was 23, I would already be retired, right? I had one of these pillars. I always had systems. I was always automated on my investments, but I never built leverage. I invested in it, and all my military people can attest to this. I invested in a TSP, but didn't know anything about money. I had it in like the G fund, where it wasn't really making me money at all, and I never looked at it. I just was like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm investing, but I never actually looked at it and had a plan. And man, if there's one thing I could do, if I was 10 years younger and I had all this information, I would already be retired. I would have literally built it up to a point where now I've got so much money, I've got so many businesses, so many assets bought, where all I am right now is I'm going to be the CEO and just kind of run these. I'm going to go talk to my GMs at my different businesses. I'm going to make sure the sales numbers are great. I'm going to make sure the accounting numbers are great. All these different aspects of each business, and I would have had 10 years of leverage built up where I would have had the money in my cash value to be able to buy these businesses. And so, guys, I'm 33. I just turned 33 in March. If you're 23 right now, if you're not taking this advice and running, there's something wrong, right? You need to get on that. I'm not going to condemn you, but brother, sister, I'm telling you this with all my heart. If I knew this information when I was younger, I know it now, and I'm going now, right? I'm not waiting another day. I got so many people that want to sit here and wait and think about it. Analysis paralysis. I was that guy. I totally get it. Move. You got to do something. You have to take action. Okay? Take action. That's all I'm going to say on that. I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but I'm going to say, brother, sister, take action today. Systematize your investments. Have them automatically coming out each paycheck, each month, however you want to do it. Have them automatically be diversifying if that's what you're doing in a Roth IRA or something like that. Whatever. But have it systematized, and then hopefully an account you can leverage, right? You're building leverage. And then from there, you need to start thinking about, there's not enough money today. You need to start building a plan on when you can start buying assets. What's the number you need to buy your first asset, and then do it. Okay? Stop thinking about it. Stop waiting for someone to teach you or hold your hand. Do it. Okay? Way more important that you do it and you take action and you learn from it than sitting around and hoping that somehow things are going to magically work out for you. I love you. I love you, and that's my spiel. I know it's kind of hard and salty coming out today, but I've just noticed, man, people they get I used to be analysis paralysis guy, and so I can see it in people, and it breaks my heart because I know they'll never get to where they want to be because they'll be stuck thinking about it. 20 years from here. Oh yeah, I remember that deal. I was going to do that. I was going to do IBC with you, Brian, but man, I just didn't really know it. I wish I would have done that. I would have been a millionaire by now, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, bro, you should have, and so that's where I'm going to leave you with. This actually was a shorter video. I'm impressed. I'm proud of myself. 15-minute mark. That's my goal now, 15 minutes to get in, get out. I love you. God bless you guys, and get after it.